All right, so for 17 years I worked as a television producer at QVC, which was a pretty insane place to work. And I could run through a long laundry list of the celebrities I've worked with, but Joan Rivers once told me not to drop names, so I'm not going to do that tonight. Now, but it was great. It was an interesting place to work with celebrities every day. So generally speaking, seeing celebrities was not a big deal. And it was a very profitable place to work, selling tchotchkes on TV to America. But in September of 2001, I was sitting in my office watching QVC and checking my email when I started hearing people out in the hall in the cubicles say, switch over to Good Morning America or Today Show. And I switched over, and of course, tragedy had struck just a couple hundred miles north, and our whole world changed. We went off the air for 36 hours because we couldn't sell tchotchkes when America was mourning and when we were trying to figure out what had exactly happened. And it was very traumatic. A week later, we held a memorial service in an atrium that we had. We had this brand new spanking building that was beautiful, and there was a giant atrium that had been built. Our CEO said this atrium is going to be where we hold pep rallies and have great meetings and bring the whole company together. And a week after 9/11, on the 18th, we gathered there for our own little memorial service. And we were all heartbroken and still in shock. And of course, the stock market had semi-collapsed. Americans were reevaluating their lives. And the next year, business was in the toilet. People were spending time with friends and family, not watching and buying handbags off of television as much. And the senior management's thought was, everybody has to stick to their knitting. Buckle down, stay in your office, work hard, stay late, don't take coffee breaks, and we have to capture every dollar to get through this. And it was a tough year for us, as you can imagine. And when we got to the 1-year anniversary of 9/11, once again we met in the atrium for another memorial service. And we were all still heartbroken, and we had honestly, that year we had lost our mojo. But a couple weeks after the memorial service, when we were still trying to get out of this funk, this assistant buyer happened to strike a deal with Con Air. And he was basically going to sell a hair cutting system, a little box, like we had in the 50s and 60s when our dads would cut our hair. And so he had scheduled this Con Air hair cutting system to be sold at 6 o'clock at night. And he had brought in a guest. And he took it upon himself, this assistant buyer, to send an email out to all the department assistants. And if you've ever worked in a big company, department assistants are the nerve system of the company. They always know the scoop. They know what's going on. So he sent a note that this celebrity was going to be walking through down our main hallway to the studio and going through the atrium at 4 o'clock. And that if anybody wanted to just happen to meandering by then, they might catch sight. Well, when I heard this, I was really kind of intrigued. So I came out of my office and kind of hung out over in a corner of this atrium. And about 3:45, a couple people went to the cafeteria, and then they came out with their coffee and they stood there. More people came, 2 more people, 4 people, 8 people. And by 4, it was like 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 people. It got up to, I'm serious, like almost 200 people standing in the atrium. And from where I was standing, I could not see down the main hallway, but I could hear the roar and people laughing. And sure enough, he turned the corner. It was Mr. T. Mr. T from Full House, from the A-Team. He's a cancer survivor. He was dripping in more gold than we had sold in the Gold Rush 4-hour special earlier that week. And he had his trademark mohawk, and he was high-fiving people and shaking hands and hugging the women. And he and we're all just ecstatic to see Mr. T. And he walked into the atrium, and he didn't have anything prepared, but he just stood up on a couple steps. He's smaller than you would think, and he just talked about how he was thrilled to be at QVC, how he'd been a big fan, and he just, he just commented like we should all be watching his 6 to pick up his system, but he just said, "You guys are the A-team. You guys are the real A-team." And I walked away. And then he left, and we walked. Everybody kind of dissipated. And 2 days later, I'm in a meeting with all the other directors, like a number of directors, and a friend brought it up that they just felt the balloon had been burst, and like everybody was feeling better and more relaxed in their job, and there was like a new camaraderie. And I said, "I'm so glad you said that, because for me, this Mr. T incident had felt like the end of The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, when the kids from Whoville, when everybody came out and was just like singing. And we just needed to get together in that atrium and laugh. And we needed to be able to laugh. And what I realized was Mr. T and this assistant buyer set it up, single-handedly helped us find our mojo again. He helped us discover our own good vibrations. Thank you.